Okay, so this is the recap of the Chicago Bears 2015 season Week 1 matchup with the Green Bay Packers. I'll start out by saying I'm going to give the good, the bad, and the ugly, and go on with some other details and stats and probably the prediction for next week's game. Anyways, I made my prediction before the game that we would lose 33-6. I was pleasantly surprised to see that we only lost 33-26. The last touchdown coming in like at the end of the game where it didn't really matter if we got it in. I didn't think we'd score that many points, honestly. I knew our defense would give up against 30 against Aaron Rodgers, but I mean, I'm not going to call it a moral victory, but I'll certainly be, not quite as mad as I was last year when the Packers beat us, dropped like a 50 bomb on us. I mean, it's to be expected having a new coach and a new system and all that stuff to have growing pains. So yeah, I was pretty satisfied with yesterday's progress. I knew that the John Fox hire and subsequently his offensive coordinator and defensive coordinators and that just simply weren't going to get embarrassed like the Bears had for the past couple of years. They got some integrity in their game, and they just weren't going to let that. Now let's start off with the good things that I saw yesterday in front of the Bears. Obviously, Matt Forte has still got what it takes to be in the run game. The Packers, just like the announcer Troy Aikman said, that we're stacking the box to actually stop the run, and he still managed to run for over 140 yards, over 100 in the first half alone. Another plus, I actually liked the way that Jay handled the offense, like up at the line, made adjustments, tried to get into some hurry-up offense and that. Now, he actually had a decent game, I thought. He only threw for just over 200 yards, a lot of it, in that last drive there, which was kind of a pointless drive. He did have that one interception that killed the game, but I'm not really so mad about that. That was just a good defensive play by Clay Matthews, who's an absolute beast of an athlete. He went clear across the field to make the interception. But one thing Jay did do bad, it was pretty stupid, was that fourth down play when they were down in the red zone and had a pretty well open Eddie Royal. It should have been a touchdown pass that he threw completely way over his head. I agree with them going for it right there instead of kicking the field goal. I mean, that was the right move, but yeah, Jay made a bad play on that one. Plus, our offensive line wasn't playing good, obviously. He was rushed right away, but he still should have made that throw. They had to move Kyle Long out to start at right tackle for the first time. He's actually only had like 1 or 2 practices at that position, so not surprising that he, kind of messed up and gave up a couple of sacks to himself. And he'll get a lot better at it, but yeah, I was kind of surprised that they threw him in there like that. It was kind of, I seen some flashes from a couple of the defensive players to showing that, we got something to work with. You got to realize that nobody can stop Aaron Rodgers. It ain't just the Bears, it's going to have trouble stopping him. So I actually thought we did okay with him for the most part. Okay, some of the bad things I saw. Jay Cutler telegraphing his passes. I mean, like I said, that interception was a good defensive play, but it was also read Jay Cutler's eyes. So hopefully he ain't going to start doing that stuff, because now it's 1-12 versus Green Bay. It's been a completely one-sided rivalry. You cannot lose 2 games to Green Bay every single stinking year like that. So yeah, that was one of the bads. What were some other of the bad ones? Well, just offensive line play in a whole. Also, our special teams play was not that good yesterday. I wasn't impressed with that. That's something that the Bears are going to need to do if they actually plan on winning any games this year. The ugly. What were some of the ugliest things that happened yesterday? I would have to say that John Fox made a couple of iffy calls, like to go for it down in the red zone. But the ugliest thing was the red zone, our red zone offense. I mean, of like 6 times we was down there, we only got 1 touchdown, and that was because of a offsides penalty on a field goal attempt, or we wouldn't even have the chance to run the ball in with Forte. So yeah, our red zone offense is still shitty. Jay just struggles, man, when that field gets really short and compact like that, and our offensive line hasn't been, strong enough off the snap to get, that Forte walking in essentially. But other than that, there's really not a whole lot of bad things to point out. I mean, like I said, I think they actually improved overall from last year. And considering it was the Packers, I'm not too displeased with their performance. Week 2 is another home game. We play our second game of the year at home. And that's against the Arizona Cardinals, who actually looked pretty good this last week. Carson Palmer still continues to impress at his age and his system playing for the Cardinals. Really, really good fourth quarter quarterback. So that's going to be a tough game for sure. And after that, we're going to have to go to Seattle. So yeah, we got a rough start this year. But let's stick with Arizona for now. I'm not real like familiar with Arizona other than like the quarterback, and I know they got a decent defense, so it's probably going to be hard to score points on them, I'm sure, even at home, even with Forte starting on. I'm going to guess that the Bears actually will score less points than we did this last week. I see us scoring about 17 points, maybe 13, and then I see the Cardinals not scoring way too much more than that, but it's probably about 25. I'm going to call it 25-14 for next week's game against the Cardinals. You know, hopefully we win. You know, hopefully I'm wrong, but that's just kind of the way I see right now our team going. So I'm gonna try to incorporate some highlights in this video. I'm still kind of new to the YouTube thing, and I actually got to get me a better camera, but my videos will eventually start to get better. So I appreciate anybody watching them and stick with me, and they will get better in quality, more editing and cuts, and won't be so boring to watch. But I'm also going to start a series of lists. I've already got my first list made out. It's the top 10 plays in Chicago Bears history. A sneak peek is the Devin Hester Super Bowl kickoff return. Get video of that. And another top 5 is Mike Brown in fourth quarter interception return for a touchdown. It's tied for 2. He did that 2 times in one year. I think it was 2000, where in back-to-back games he intercepted a pass at the end of the game at fourth quarter and tied it up. So those are just a couple. I'm also going to do a top 10 list of Bears players. You know, we're going to go all the way back to Sid Luckman and Dick Butkus, and even, you know, just a few years or 20 years back, like for the monsters in the midway 80s, like William Perry and, you know, all the guys on that 46 defense and Buddy Ryan. There's just a couple of lists that I'm going to make. History of, you know, Soldier Field, all of those things. So appreciate anybody watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.